James May decides his ultimate Top Gear special car of all time. Viewers, bug out bunker. Lucy Brown has come up with something quite interesting, actually. It's a sort of World Cup of all the cars I drove on Top Gear specials, and it's arranged like a football tournament. You can see it here on the screen, in pairs, like a draw. And from each of those pairs, I have to choose a winner, which goes through to the next round, and eventually we end up with a champion. And I've never done this, and I've never really thought about it in this way. So, what are we calling this, Lucy?
James May decides his greatest Top Gear car of all time.
James May decides his greatest Top Gear. Surely that should be ultimate, Lucy. James May decides his ultimate Top Gear special car of all time. This is just Top Gear, so this is not including the Grand Tour. So let's begin. Shall I begin in the top left? Round one. The Volvo 850R, Source of the Nile special, which I discovered, versus the Mercedes 230e from the Botswana special, the very first special we ever did. Now that is a difficult one because the Volvo served me extremely well. I won that challenge. I lived in it. I also had a portable workshop in it, which was very useful as it turned out. But then again, the Mercedes, I have very fond memories of the Mercedes because I love those W123s. I think they're the best built cars in history. That also served me very well, despite having things like a 5-speed gear knob on a 4-speed gearbox. And it's still there, admittedly in a bit of a scrapyard and rotting away. And that was the first special we ever did, and let's be honest, some years have passed and we can admit that it was a holiday that we filmed. What do I want, the Volvo or the Mercedes? I'm going to choose the Mercedes. So I can copy the Mercedes and paste it into that winner's box. So the Mercedes has won the first round. Yes. Okay, round two. This is a fairly easy one because it's the Citroën Ami 8 Estate from the Mallorca Special, which I drove in a rally with Madison Welch, with the lovely Maddie, versus the BMW Z3 from the Middle East Special, which is possibly one of the worst cars I ever drove on Top Gear. It looked good because of my Luftwaffe-inspired World War II camouflage scheme. But it was a dreadful car with a dreadful gearbox. I even wrote a little song about it. Westward going, gasket may be blowing, what a piece of shit. So I'm going to choose the Ami, which still exists and belongs to a friend of mine. So that's going there. So round one has yielded the Mercedes 230 versus the Ami 8. Round three, the Lamborghini Huracan, supercars for the price of a Mondeo. I believe that was my idea, that film, because I'd read so many of those stories in car magazines about you can own a supercar for the price of a Mondeo. And of course, it isn't really true, and we proved that. Versus the Suzuki Samurai from the Bolivia Special. That was a terrible thing, wasn't it? That was the 3-wheel drive Suzuki that I accidentally bought, that was blue in the advert but red when it turned up. That's, again, not difficult. I'll have the Huracan. The Huracan was not without its problems, but it looks fantastic. Moving the Huracan into the victory box. And then we have the last round of the left-hand side of the Car World Cup, the Cadillac Brougham, with its amazing comedy horn that sounded like a railway locomotive that I used to scare Richard Hammond. That versus, the Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow from the India Special. Now that is quite tricky because I'm a big fan of the Rolls-Royce Shadow and Corniche series. I've owned 3 of them. Well, 4 if you include that one. And it was a nice one, or it was a nice one until we mucked about with it. The Cadillac was a bit of a snotter, although I did like it because it was incredibly comfortable and just properly, it was a proper piece of yank iron. I'm going to have the Cadillac. Right, moving over to the right-hand side. The Porsche 944 from the Cheap Porsches Challenge versus, oh, I've almost forgotten about this one, the Capri 2.8 injection from the £1,500 rear-wheel drive coupes challenge. We used to do some good stuff in those days. Well, the Porsche 944 is not really a proper Porsche, is it? And the Capri 2.8 injection is epic. So I'll have the Capri. Even though, in the course of making that challenge, it was ruined largely by Richard Hammond, who crashed into it several times. Okay, the Hino FB110, that's the crane lorry from the Burma special, which tried to kill me twice. Versus the Lotus Esprit V8, which also tried to kill me. Well, do I have to judge these on the condition they were in or if they were perfect? Condition they were in, yes. Well, it's going to be, because it only tried to kill me once, and it turned out to be a fantastic off-roader and very reliable and extremely stylish, the Lotus. That car, I'm pretty sure, no longer exists. It's in the bin somewhere in Argentina. The Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin from the Cheap SUV Challenge versus, the Jaguar XJS from the £1,500 coupes that aren't Porsches, the follow-up to the £1,500 Porsches Challenge. I love an XJS. I mean, I do think it's the greatest Jag ever made. I know that's an unpopular view because people go, what about the E-Type? What about the XK150? What about the XJ220? Nah, it's the XJS. It's a fantastic piece of design. The Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin is a great little off-road car. Mine wasn't a particularly good example and it smelled bad, so I'm having the Jag. It's quite a good idea, this, Lucy. It's forcing me to think about something I haven't considered for a very long time, if ever. I've got a new top, by the way, as Lucy would call it. This shacket jacket, it's actually technically a smock, is new, still a bit stiff. It's not a top, though. I can't explain why that is, Lucy, but it's just a fact. Men's clothing cannot be tops. They are shirts, they are jackets, they are jumpers, they are rugby shirts, they are sweatshirts, they are t-shirts, they are vests even, or hoodies.
I disagree, but I'll let you...
Well, you can't disagree, you're a girl.
Okay.
Come on, argue.
I think we've had this argument for about 9 years.
You said, you've got a new top.
You do?
I don't. It's not a top. How can it be a top? It doesn't mean anything. A top could be an Arctic coat like my big yellow Parker or a bikini. I mean, I wouldn't wear a bikini, but you know what I mean? All those things go on the top half of your body, so they're all tops.
Surely if your argument is correct, as I am a woman, I can use the word top. It's more that men cannot use the word top.
Yeah, but you're talking about my clothes and I'm a man, and this is a man's garment.
Okay,
So
I
not a
like
top.
your new Parker.
It's not a Parker, it's a smock. It says it on the label.
I concede.
Gus?
Yeah, I'm afraid I'm with you on this, Joe. You can't have tops. In fact, I don't think anyone should have tops because you don't have bottoms. Doesn't make sense. You can't define your clothes by the area of your body you wear them. Otherwise, you'd have feet instead of socks.
When you're
and
shopping,
heads instead of hats. You say, I'm wearing a nice head.
when you're shopping online, you've got tops as a category.
Not on men's clothing, you
Yes,
don't.
you do.
No, well, not in the sort of websites that me and Gus go to.
As is clear.
What do you call those new trousers you've got? Are they bottoms?
No, they're barrel. We know that.
Is it true you bought a job lot of 3 in slightly different colours?
Yeah,
Is that so that you could discharge your trouser buying duty in one click?
yeah.
So you've got bottoms are barrel trousers and your top is, what would you call that?
I'd call this a top because I don't know what it is. It's not a polo shirt, it's not a sweater, it's not a cardigan.
It's a long sleeve polo shirt, isn't it?
But it's knitted.
It's a knitted long sleeve polo shirt. Right, so final match of the first round, that's what I'm trying to say, is the Salfa Rameab. That was the hybrid Alpha 164 with Saab 900 joined back to back to make a push-me-pull-you car. Oh, versus the Audi 80 1.8 from the original 100-pound car challenge. Now, they were both terrible because steering wheel fell off the Salfa Rameab. The Audi, when I looked at it a bit more closely with some of the technicians from Top Gear, looked like it might have been a bit of a cut and shut job. It had certainly been in a prang of some sort. Although I did like it because it was an old school Audi and it was a saloon and it was sort of quite slightly monastic, a bit like Mercedes used to be. I'm going to have the Audi. I'm not really thinking about who they're going to end up playing. We've now got the Audi playing against the Jag. Okay, so we move through to round 2. Okay, as a result of the first match of round 1, we have ended up with the Botswana Mercedes 230E versus the Mallorca Special Citroën Ami 8. Oh, now that is, what do I... Is the final winner going to live in my bunker here with me?
I doubt you'll be able to buy it.
But theoretically, is that what I'm choosing? I'm going to have to keep this car
forever.
So in my mind, I'm arriving at a car to keep in my collection of film cars, this and the Beach Monkey. Okay.
Whenever anyone asks you what's your favourite Top Gear car, you will have a definitive answer.
Very true, yes, because people do ask that. Okay. Mercedes versus Citroën Ami 8. Ooh, I have very fond memories of both. And the Mercedes is very dignified, it's very proper as a car, but the Citroën is very French and it's funny and it rolls about. And it's got a spare tyre mounted on the bonnet and rally accessories on the roof, and it's got yellow headlights because it's French. I'm having the Citroën. How could you not? If it makes it through the next round, that does rather annoyingly mean I'm going to have to go and steal it back off the mate of mine who I sold it to. I did briefly own that car myself, so that was actually the third car that I rescued from a special, which I always forget about. Right. I have the Lamborghini Urraco from Supercars for the Price of a Mondeo versus the Cadillac from the America Special, which almost got me murdered by some hicks in a petrol station. Oh, the Cadillac's great. It's big and it's sort of lazy engine and a fantastic horn on it. But the Urraco is a Lamborghini Urraco. You certainly wouldn't get one of those for £10,000 now. I'm going to have the Lamborghini Urraco, which puts it in the next round up against, puts it up against a Citroën Ami 8. That's not a twin test that ever appeared in any car magazines, is it? Right, onto the right-hand side. From round 2, we have a Capri 2.8 injection from £1,500 rear-wheel drive coupes versus the Lotus Esprit V8 from Patagonia. I've always secretly wanted both of those cars, never owned either. Came very close to buying a Capri once. If it were an earlier Esprit, if it was like a Spy Who Loved Me Esprit Series 1 with Wolf Race wheels, that would be no contest. I'm going to have, but it was very good off-road. But the Capri is a Capri, and that was a totemic car when I was in my late teens. I'm going to have the Capri. Any objections?
No.
Is anybody objecting to any of my choices so far? Does anybody have anything to comment? Eve, you have very strong views on cars.
No,
And some quite distasteful ones as well.
No, I would agree.
Okay. Right, Jaguar XJS, the gold XJS from £1,500 coupes that aren't Porsches versus the original £100 car challenge Audi 80. That's my favourite Jag of all time. I'm having the XJS, even though it was a bag of bolts. Right, this is quite exciting, isn't it? Or is it?
Yeah.
So, in the semi-finals, we have Citroën Ami 8 Estate versus Lamborghini Urraco, very odd pairing there, and Capri 2.8 Injection versus XJS V12 Coupe. Let's kick off with the Citroën versus the Urraco. See that? I do like, I mean, I did buy that Citroën originally. I saved it. I did like it. It was silly. It was very slow and quite noisy, but it rolled about magnificently and it looked really cool. But then again, a Lamborghini Urraco in right-hand drive with, let's be honest, a velour interior. I'm going to have the Citroën. I mean, I've already got a mid-engine. Well, I've got two mid-engine cars, right? I don't have an air-cooled, stupid Citroën. Just made it through to the final. And it's going to play either the Capri 2.8 Injection or the XJS V12 Coupe. HE, I think. I mean, it's a Capri, but then again, it's an XJS. It's not that difficult to find a nice XJS, I noticed the other day. A Capri 2.8. Somebody who lives near me has a mint one. Occasionally it parks outside the pub, and I always sort of salivate slightly when I see it. It's the Capri. The Capri has gone through against the XJS to play the Citroën Ami 8 Estate for the final of the James May Top Gear Specials Car World Cup of Cars, whatever it's called. Citroën, it's a very strange match again. Citroën Ami 8 Estate, rally prepared, versus the fastest production Capri ever made, I think, the 2.8 Injection. Fine car, good German engine. Is it really possible that out of all the cars I ever drove for a special on Top Gear, that the one I'm going to have back in my bunker is a Citroën Ami 8 Estate, rally prepared? It is, isn't it? That's the answer. You can stop asking me that one on Twitter and on this channel. There it is, the winner. And we'll show you a nice big blown up photograph of it. Possibly we'll find a picture of me and Maddie standing next to it because she was an excellent co-driver. Right, so that roundabout was right.
That's left.
There it is, that's the winner. The winner of the World Cup. This is almost as absurd as England winning. The Citroën Ami 8 Estate, rally prepared for Mallorca.
Call to actions.
Don't buy a Citroën Ami 8, for God's sake. They're ridiculous.